Turn your attention to the court as we begin our Senior Day ceremony for men's basketball. Before we honor our own seniors, Averett would like to also recognize and congratulate Bridgewater senior Dan Caswell and graduate student Annie Back on their collegiate careers. And now, let's honor our 2022-23 Averett men's basketball senior class. Our first senior is Corey Baldwin. USA South Conference Tournament MVP after helping the Cougars win the USA South East Division regular season crown and the USA South tournament title last season, sending Averett to the NCAA tournament. As a junior, Baldwin led the team in points and rebounds with 15 points and 7.3 rebounds per game, which earned him All-State second team honors and USA South first team accolades. For his career, Baldwin has scored 700 points with 354 rebounds in 67 career games. A sociology major, Baldwin plans to return and play basketball as a graduate student next season. Today he's joined by his parents, Mark and Deidre Baldwin. Let's give it up for Corey Baldwin. Our next senior is number 14, Jalen Roel. A native of Norfolk, Virginia, Roel played in 59 games during his career with the Cougars. He scored more than 400 career points. As a junior, he averaged 10.8 points per game while helping Averett win the USA South. He scored a career best 28 points against Mary Baldwin in February of 2022. Majoring in sociology, Roel is the son of John and Rob Roel, who joined him today along with his sister Raven and girlfriend Ayana. Let's make some noise for Jalen Roel. Our next senior is number 20, Raja Milton. A native of Charlotte, North Carolina, he transferred to Averett for his final 2 seasons, where he scored more than 320 points for an average of 6.8 points and nearly 2 assists and nearly 1 steal per game in 48 career contests. Earlier this season, he scored a career high 25 points against now nationally ranked Hampton Sydney. Majoring in sports administration, Milton is escorted today by his parents Ray and Amy Milton and little brother Sakai. Let's hear it for Raja Milton. Our next senior is number 33, Bryson McLaughlin. A native of Danville, McLaughlin transferred to Averett for his final 3.5 seasons. In 76 career games, he's averaged nearly 6 points and 6 rebounds per game. He scored a career high of 17 points in Averett's 2020 USA South Conference Tournament Championship game at Covenant, helping him earn USA South All-Tournament Team honors. His career high of 17 rebounds came against Shenandoah in 2021. Majoring in organizational communication, McLaughlin is joined today by his parents Dennis McLaughlin and Weezy Venable. Let's make some noise for Bryson McLaughlin. And our final senior is number 35, Miles Paulden. Native of Charlotte, North Carolina, Paulden has scored 200 points in 72 career games for the Cougars over his 4 years. During his career, he has earned academic all-conference honors and received the Men's Basketball Team Service Award at the 2020-21 Night of Champions. Majoring in computer science and computer information systems with a minor in cybersecurity, Paulden is joined today by his parents Anthony and Daphne Paulden, along with his sister Olivia, as well as Jim Polino. Let's hear it for Miles Paulden. Once again, let's give another round of applause to this year's Averett men's basketball senior class. Fans, please turn your attention to the court as we begin our season.
Hello and welcome back to Game 2 here in the Grant Center today. The women's basketball team tipped off at 2 o'clock and their game was done just over 45 minutes ago. And now the Cougars, the men's basketball team, taking over here on Senior Day, celebrating Corey Baldwin, Bryce McLaughlin, Raja Milton, Miles Paulden, and also Jalen Rowell today. As we're going underway into the national anthem and starting lineup. Special day here for the Cougars. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after starting lineups and national anthem.
Now today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Eagles of Bridgewater College. A guard, a sophomore from Washington, North Carolina, number 3, Sean Smith. A forward, a sophomore from Jacksonville, North Carolina, number 12, Aaron Oates. A forward, a junior from Monroe, North Carolina, number 20, Alec Tupper. Guard, a graduate student from Bridgewater, North Carolina, number 21, Andy Pack. A guard, a senior from Upper Island, North Carolina, number 22, Liam Caswell. Eagles are coached by Stephen Enright, assisted by Chad Seaman, Jared Hatcher, Hinata, and Clay Michael. And now, Cougar fans, let's make some noise as we meet your starters for your Cougars of Averett University. At guard, a junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, number 5, Jordan Lewis. At guard, a senior from Northern Virginia, number 14, Jalen Rowell. At guard, a senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 20, Raja Milton. At forward, a senior from Danville, Virginia, number 30, Bryson McLaughlin. At forward, a senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 35, Miles Paulden. The head coach for Averett in his 9th season is David Duena. Assistant operator Baker and Sean Lewis. The Cougars trainer is Brenda Schultz. Fans Averett go back to the NCAA to promote good sportsmanship from student athletes, coaches, and spectators.
We are here back on Averett Sports Network. My name is Chris Richmond. Alongside me is Thomas Heaney III, a.k.a. TH3. And we're back here with the men's matchup here on Senior Day. 4 of the 5 seniors being celebrated today are in the starting lineup here. Besides, of course, Mr. Corey Baldwin, who announced at the beginning of the season that he will not be playing his final season due to injury, but has been on the staff as a student coach. So he's been sharing his knowledge to the game and giving back to the team even when you don't see him on the court.
Yep.
So important day. A lot of seniors who've had a lot of success here for the Cougars. Getting to see them being celebrated today is a cool experience. And we're at tip-off here. The Cougars in that clean all gold. And the Eagles here in the maroon. We're at tip-off here. McLaughlin set off the tip-off against Topper, and the Cougars get the tip-off here, and we're underway. Cougars with the first possession here as Lewis now on the wing. Taking his time here, looking for the pass down to the post. Going to reset here to Milton. Milton now coming off the screen by McLaughlin, swings it to Rowell. Rowell takes a 3 in the corner, and bang! 3-point shot here for Jalen Rowell to open up the game.
What a start for the senior on senior night for the first shot to be a three-pointer.
He's now driving through for the Eagles. It's going to be Oates, but he's going to pass it out, reset here. Now Topper here with the ball. He's going to get it over to Caswell. Caswell now getting it back out to Topper, back to Caswell. Caswell, 3-point shot here is good. So Caswell answers back with a three of his own. Tied ball game here, back and forth. 2 3-point shots knocked down by both squads to start off.
Yeah, we're starting off hot right now, Chris. You can feel it. The energy, the pace is there. Both teams really starting good offensively here.
As Roel's pass going to be tipped and falls into the hands of the Eagles. Now Topper taking a three of his own. It's going to hit off the front of the rim. And we're going to have a rebound by Milton. First miss of the night by both squads there. It's now Lewis getting the ball over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now over to Roel. Roel coming off the screen. Swings it over to Paulden. Paulden now to Milton. Milton finds himself wide open three. Takes a three at the top of the key. Off the mark. And the rebound finds itself going to Caswell. Caswell now driving through. Tough foul there by Milton, not giving up the easy buckets. Caswell will go to the line to shoot two. Already hit a three so far, has 3 points. He has a chance to go to the line and make it 5.
Yeah, very hot start here, Chris. Very high tempo. Great crowd tonight in the Grand Center, may I say. Also, a lot of family out here for senior night, so it's a lot of energy, great crowd. Should be a good game.
First shot knocked down there for Caswell.
Caswell, a good free throw shooter this year, shooting 75% from the line. Gets that one to go.
So 2 free throws knocked down for Caswell to take a 2-point lead here. As Lewis kicks it to Roel. Roel, corner three, knocks it down. That's 6 points there for Jalen Roel to open up senior day, and I can't imagine a better way to start here as a senior in the starting lineup here.
100%, Chris. His family loves it. They're in the crowd. What a start for the senior.
Now this is Oates driving through, and an easy layup for Oates to take a 1-point lead here for the Eagles.
That's been Roel really his whole career here at Averett. He loves those corner threes, and anytime he can get a catch and shoot, it's most likely to go in.
So now the hot hand in Roel with the ball. Swings over to McLaughlin. Jab step, drives through, puts a shot up off the mark, and Topper's attempt to keep it alive there for the Eagles steps out of bounds. So the Cougars will keep possession with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Lewis on the inbound pass, looking for Roel. Roel comes across. Can't get that mid-range shot that he was looking for, but Milton takes a mid-range of his own and knocks it down. And the Cougars take back a 1-point lead, and we see Jason Sellers coming to the scorer's table. Usually a starter here on this Cougar team, but of course the seniors in this starting lineup here, and it's been working well so far.
Of course, and Milton is going to be a name we're going to call on a lot tonight, especially in that mid-range game. He's got a lethal mid-range shot, and you saw it there.
So now Bryson McLaughlin, a.k.a. B-Mac, coming to the bench after starting in today's lineup, and now in the game is going to be Jason Sellers.
McLaughlin's a huge part for this Cougars team from Danville, Virginia, so it's pretty cool for him tonight.
A lot of cheers coming his way when he got announced in the starting lineup, of course, as that's a three there by number 12, Aaron Oates, a sophomore out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, gets the three-pointer to go and takes back a 2-point lead.
How about this, Eagles. Chris? I mean, 18 points in the first 3 minutes of this game. Very high tempo.
Now Roel swings it over to Paulden. Paulden now to Lewis. Lewis wrapping around, swings to Milton. Milton looking for a spot, stripped away there that time by Smith. So Milton has to put a hold there on the aggressive defense. He's already got 2 fouls early on in the game. Is now number 3, Clay Hodges, a sophomore guard out of Hiddenite, North Carolina, checks in the game for the first time here for the Cougars. Another one of those guys that usually come in this starting lineup.
Good pass there.
Good pass, a wide open layup there for Caswell, and he's on a bit of a hot streak here to start off the game. So now Lewis swings it over to Paulden at the top of the key, gets it now to Roel. Roel now over to Hodges, back to Sellers. Sellers now in the post, using that hard post step he has. Paulden holds on to it, tipped away by Smith, and the Cougars will keep possession. So now excuse me, I think shot clock never was stopped. I believe it's going to be around 6 seconds, and it's going to be 6 seconds left on the shot clock here.
You mentioned Sellers there, Chris. They're going to have to bring a double team most times when he's in the post. He is a problem down there. Bridgewater's not going to win a lot of one-on-one matchups with him, so look for a lot of double teams when he has the ball.
Now Rowell, pump fake, gets a man in the air, takes the mid-range shot, and is good. So Rowell finds himself now with 8 points to start off senior day here, bringing it back within 2 points. And that's one thing that opens up a lot when you hit a couple of threes off the bat. Anytime you do that shooting motion on the top of the key, it's going to get a man in the air. That time opened him up with a wide-open mid-range with shot clock expiring.
Yep.
So now Caswell, nice bounce pass there. So lead, that was number 4, Landon Hawes, checking in the game for the Eagles. Good bounce pass, even better defense there by the Cougars, poking away, and it goes out on Hawes. So we'll give possession back to the Cougars after great defense. Also into the game for the first time is going to be number 11, Mikey Ayala, sophomore guard out of Silver Spring, Maryland. It's now Lewis, swings it over to Hodges. Hodges now finds Lawrence, who's now checked into the game for the Cougars. Driving through, puts it up. Shot's going to be off the mark, no contact, or called contact. It's now a 3-point shot here for the Eagles, off the mark. And Caswell going over the top of Lewis, getting the offensive board and putting the shot up there for the Eagles. Yeah,
Caswell has been kind of all around the court so far early. Cougars got to contain him.
So now Lewis swings it over to Sellers. Sellers now to Hodges on the left wing. Hodges wrapping around. Gets it to Lawrence, now back to Lewis to reset here for the Cougars. Sellers now to set a screen on the right side. Lewis comes across, finds his spot on the mid-range, takes a mid-range jumper, and gets it to go to bring it back within 2 points.
Yeah, and Lewis is probably the best mid-range shooter on this team. Inside the paint as well, he is a problem, and that is the shot he's going to take all day.
So now Ayala kicks it out to Caswell. Caswell now driving through. Bounce pass, miscue, trying to hit a cut here. A man he thought was cutting in Will Dunlap, but he cuts back out to the 3-point line, and that goes out of bounds. So Cougars hold up on defense after getting a 2-point shot there with a chance to tie or take the lead here.
Yeah, and that was our first time calling Jordan Lewis's name, but it won't be the last. He's averaging almost 11 points per game for the Cougars and leads them in scoring this season.
Now Rowell coming around, going up with the left hand, can't finish, going up, trying to grab his own rebound, but that's great effort by Oates keeping it alive. And now the other way, Dunlap now going up, wide open layup is good. And now clock and game is stopped now as Rowell, who was shaken up trying to go for the offensive rebound, believe he tweaked his ankle, was able to get up off the court on his own power, but obviously favoring that right foot as we're going into a timeout. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after this break.
University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network after a transition bucket there for the Eagles to take a 4-point lead. Now 16-12, 13 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Hodges now trying to get the ball to Sellers. He does. Sellers now driving through, a lot of contact. and looked like that was Oates that was set up in the restricted area, so no charge can be called from that area. So it's going to be a blocking foul to send Sellers to the line to shoot two here.
Yep, and the Eagles tried to bring a double team there, obviously, on Sellers, dominant player in the post. But they pick up the foul, send Sellers to the line.
If that was a foot more outside, probably would have been called charge, but his feet were set up in that restricted area. So Sellers missed the first free throw, still with the chance to get at least a point here. Second free throw is going to be off the mark, rebounded by Lewis after a long rebound. Getting the clock on the right page here. It's now Lewis getting the ball to Hodges. Hodges now with the ball very deep at the top of the key. Swings it to Lawrence. Lawrence now thought about the mid-range shot, elected not to take it. Pass to Hodges. Hodges now bounce pass to Sellers. Nice pass by Hodges, and Sellers goes up. Can't finish. Gets his own rebound. Can't finish, and Oates this time coming up with the defensive rebound, and he gets hit with the travel call, and he knew it. As the Cougars get the ball right back.
Despite that travel, that was pretty good defense down there against Sellers, and if they continue to do that, the Eagles have a pretty good chance to win. That's what it's going to take to beat the Cougars if you're the Eagles.
Very rare to see Sellers miss a couple of those second chance opportunities off the offensive glass. As now Bryce Shaw is in the game here for the Cougars. Now Lewis stops, thinks about it, takes a shot, and hits from the left wing to bring it back within 1 point. Now Ayala with the ball here, coming off the screen by Oates. Wrap it around, defended closely. Nice pass by Ayala to get Oates wide open for a layup to take back 2 points. Hodges now bringing up the ball here for the Cougars. Gets it to Sellers. Sellers now swinging it over to Lewis. Lewis now to Lawrence. Lawrence over to Shaw. Shaw sets his feet, takes the jumper, hits the rim, but now Lewis on the offensive glass gets the second chance buckets and forces a timeout here to bring it back within 1 point. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after this timeout.
Inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon. With affordable tuition and 24/7 support, it all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
We are back here with Averett Sports Network after a great effort by Jordan Lewis to go up, get the offensive glass, and put it up for 2 points for the Cougars.
You mentioned to me over the break, Chris, about Jordan Lewis and those offensive rebounds. He's leading them with offensive rebounds with 2 early.
So now pass is going to be a little bit too high there for Smith. It's going to go out of bounds and give the ball right back to the Cougars. So the Cougars getting it done defensively.
Yep.
After a high-scoring start to the first half. So now Hodges with the ball here, swings it over to McLaughlin at the top of the key. Now McLaughlin to Hodges. Hodges now on the left wing. Looking down to Sellers, but he's going to hit Shaw, wrapping around. Now Shaw with the ball. Dribbling through, gets the ball poked away, still fighting for the ball. And that's going to be a jump ball. It's going to be in favor of the visiting Eagles. So they will take possession here after the miss, or after the poked away ball. So now Oates driving through on Sellers, gets through and gets a tough layup to go. And that's a tough bucket there by Oates, getting that one to go.
Yeah, very aggressive take there by Oates, but a confident take, and he puts it in.
So Now Lewis on the right wing. Wrapping around now, kicks it over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now gets it out to Hodges. Hodges back to Lewis. Lewis to reset here. Now 8 seconds on the shot clock. Not a lot of time to do something with the ball. Looking for something here. Gets a screen. Deep three by Lewis. Gets it to go. Deep at the top of the key to tie everything up 20 all.
Jordan Lewis cannot miss right now. The Cougars are on fire, and Jordan Lewis is leading them.
And you like to see those younger guys on the squad getting it done for these seniors. And so far, he's making his mark. You know, you got Jalen Rowell, one of the seniors, go down with a tweaked ankle. And Lewis just keeping it going as that three-point shot is off the mark and rebounded by Shaw. Now Shaw outnumbered, but driving anyway, takes the shot. It's off the mark. Now Jason Sellers on the offensive glass. Doesn't get the first one to go, but the second chance effort by Sellers gets it to go to take a lead here, 2 points with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the half with a chance at a three-point play.
So resilient by Jason Sellers, and that really embodies who he is as a player. You know, he tries the shot, doesn't get it to go, but he follows it up and gets the N1, and now he's at the line looking at a three-point play, Chris.
You know, this is one of the things I mentioned earlier is Sellers. He's not going to miss many of those second chance opportunities. And if he can get his hands on an offensive rebound there after a miss, I like to bet everything I have that he's going to hit 100%. That layup going up with it.
Yep.
So now the Cougars find themselves back in the driver's seat here, 22-20, with just over 10 minutes left in the half. He's now checking into the game for the first time for the Eagles. It's going to be number 23, Taylor Fincham, a freshman forward out of Madison, Virginia. And also in the game for the Cougars for the first time is going to be number 10, Jamil Carter, a junior guard out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. So pass down to a wide open Caswell is good.
It's a great give and go there by the Eagles.
So now everything tied up 22-22, and this is a very good basketball game to start off. Now Carter wrapping around. He swings it over to Shaw. Now Shaw, a couple of fancy moves, spins away. Floater is going to be off the mark, but rebounded by Paulden. Now Carter taking a three of his own, and bang! Jamil Carter at the top of the key gets it to go to take a three-point lead here for the Cougars. And also pretty good news here for the Cougars as well, as Rowell's walking behind the bench, putting a little bit more weight on that ankle, just trying to work it out there. As he got hurt earlier on, his three-point shot off the mark. That's, I believe, it's going to be called out on Lewis, and it is. So now the Eagles find themselves getting another opportunity here to put some points up to narrow down this lead.
The Cougars have taken 7 threes in this first quarter, Chris, and 5 of them have been true. That's incredible shooting. Jordan Lewis, all of those guys getting it done right now for the Cougars.
Smith gets this one out to Topper. Defended closely by Lewis. Now driving through. Tough step to the basket and gets it to go. Now Furman Barboa Watson out of Panama City, Panama, checking into the game for the first time as well for the Cougars. Now Lewis gets it down to a wide open Paulden cutting through the lane, and these seniors are getting active here tonight. Good give and go here by the Cougars for Miles Paulden on a nice layup on the roll to take back the three-point lead. So now Caswell off the pump, driving through and able to finish with the left, and Caswell is starting to put together a very good game here early on in the first half. So now Lewis here on the right wing gets it to Watson. That's tipped up very close to the rim, but ends up in the hands of the Eagles. I thought that one was close to going in. As Topper able to set his feet, take a corner three, rims out into the hand of Lewis. Now Lewis behind the back, stopping, slowing it down, waiting for help to come down, and they're going to reset here. Now Carter set to play call the play here. Now Paulden gets it to Shaw. Shaw now on the left wing, gets it to Watson. And Watson trying to look for that pass to Paulden. Gets hit with the travel. And that's going to lead to number 30 here. Zach Shoemate, the redshirt sophomore out of Wilkesboro, North Carolina, checking in for the first time in this one. And also number 32, Jim Lawrence, the redshirt sophomore out of Taylorsville, North Carolina, back into the game for the Cougars. So now Lewis, Carter, Lawrence, and also Shoemate, who can also stretch the floor as well, out on the floor. All shooting threats for the Cougars. Bryce Shaw can shoot that thing too, but does prefer to go hard into the basket. So this might open up the floor a little bit more. So now Oates now on the left wing, now driving through. Lawrence trying to go for the charge, no call, and they're going to call that one out on Shaw. Jim Lawrence is one of those guys who is very talented at drawing in charge calls. Takes great pride in getting them too. A lot of energy comes from him when he is able to pull in one of those charges. Unable to do so there. Is now Topper with the ball. He gets it out to Smith. Defended closely by Carter, now driving through, able to get up and finish with the left.
Strong take.
And this is going to force a timeout here after the Eagles take a 28-27 lead. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the timeout.
University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. 7 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock here. As now Lewis bringing the ball up the right side, swings it over to Lawrence. Lawrence now to Shaw. Shaw coming around, gets it to Shoemate, now to Carter. Ball movement here early on in this play clock for the Cougars. Now Carter gets it to Lewis. Lewis now with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Taking charge of the floor now, coming around, gets it to Carter. Carter pumps, gets a man in the air, takes a three off the mark. And fighting for the offensive glass with Shoemate, and I believe he's going to draw the foul on the effort there. But if it's one thing, Coach Duino loves that effort, especially on defense and on the glass there. So that was a great effort by Shoemate to try to at least give his team a chance at another basket.
Yeah, and that was a good pump fake, too, by Carter. I mean, that's the shot he wants in this kind of game. He's shooting 38% this year from three. You want him to take the threes. That's a good shot. I like the pump fake, too, on the first initial shot.
So now Oates in the corner here, defended closely by Lawrence. He gets it over to Smith. Smith now wrapping around. Kicks it to the corner to Topper. Topper now driving through, and I believe it's going to be an offensive foul as it looked like Topper exploded up into the chest neck area of Shaw, charging through, and 9 times out of 10 that's going to be called.
Yeah, Shaw took a nasty hit there, but he's up and moving around. He's good.
So now back in the game here for the Eagles is Hawes. And also in the game here for the first time is going to be number 30, Sailor Schott, a freshman center out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's now Shoemate here with the ball, gets it over to Roel, who was shaken up early in the half, but he's back in the game. Opened up early on to 8 points.
Yep.
So quick start there for Roel. Good for the Cougars to have him back on the floor. Now Lewis Driving through and able to finish with the right is Jordan Lewis.
So tough down there, Chris.
Tough bucket there for Lewis to take back the lead for his squad, 29-28. That's close defense there by Shaw. And they're going to say he had two hands on him. That's only Shaw's first foul, so he has a little bit of room there. Creeping up at halftime. It's now Smith with the ball here for the Eagles. Wrapping around. Goes for a tough finish, and they're going to hit a blocking foul here on Lawrence. Or excuse me, they're going to call the foul on Shoemate coming through.
This has been so back and forth, Chris. I mean, still 5 minutes and 26 seconds left in this first half, and we've already had 7 lead changes, so, I mean, the Cougars lead by 1 right here. Bridgewater has a chance to make that 8 lead changes with 2 made free throws.
Very exciting game, to say the least, here in this one. It's almost like the time is just melting away.
Yep.
As it doesn't feel like it's been 15 minutes in the first half, but it has. It's just been back and forth as Sellers is now back in the game here for the Cougars. As Smith makes the first free throw, misses the second to tie everything up, 29-29. So now Lewis gets it over to Sellers. Sellers now to Roel. Roel kicks it out to Lewis. Lewis, the hot man here, hits the front of the rim, can't get the roll in. And the rebound there falls into Smith's hands. Now pushing the floor here for the Eagles, driving through. And I believe they're going to get Shaw here with another foul.
Foul is called on number 11, Averett by Shaw, his second of the game.
Smith has been super aggressive down there. He's just been taking the ball and driving right into those trees in the paint and getting to the free throw line.
As the Cougars now have 8 fouls compared to Bridgewater's 3, and it's been like what you just said.
Yep.
The reason why they have 8 fouls is Bridgewater's just attacking the basket, forcing the Cougars to jump up with them, and they're drawing those fouls.
Exactly.
As Carter's going to come back to the scores table here for the Cougars and come back in. He's going to take out Shaw, who has 2 fouls now. And also Smith comes out the court with Ayala coming back in for the Eagles. It's a great defense there by Ayala. Get up, get a hand on the ball, but the Cougars able to corral it together and get it past half court to set up their offense here. Now 17 seconds on the shot clock. Carter gets it over to Lawrence at the top of the key. Lawrence back to Carter on the right wing. He gets it down to Sellers, and this is exactly who they want the ball to. Sellers pumps it, gets it up, and gets a tough bucket to go to tie it back up 31-all.
Yeah, Oates is a good player, but, I mean, one-on-one with Sellers. Sellers expects to win that matchup, and we got a foul travel.
I believe they called an offensive foul there on Halls. They said he pushed off on Lewis, I believe. So they're going to hit him with the offensive charge there.
Yep. Again, though, Bridgewater really just trying to move super fast and get into the paint, get to the free throw line, but offensive foul there, Cougars ball.
Now Lawrence swings it over to Roel. Roel now gets it to Sellers. Sellers over to Lewis. Lewis now driving in, kicks out to Lawrence. Lawrence pumps. Thought about the 3, but gets it down to Sellers. Nice move by Sellers, driving through. Was going up, it looked like, for the contact dunk there, the posterizer.
We have a large crowd here tonight in the Grant Center. I think everybody was holding their breath there for a second as Sellers turned around and faced the rim, but he'll go to the free throw line.
I think what was on Sellers' mind after that post spin was looking for a tough finish with the 2 hands, but was met there and drawed the foul. So he would go to the line to shoot 2 here with a chance to take a 2-point lead here for the Cougars with 4 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the half.
Yeah, and if you watch Averett basketball, you know Sellers can and will posterize you.
As first free throw is off the mark here for Sellers. In a game like this, free throws are very, very important. As second free throw is good for Sellers. So he's able to execute on one of them, as now number 33, Bryson McLaughlin, comes back into the game here for the Cougars. One of the seniors being celebrated today. So now you have the two horses there down low on the glass, and Sellers and also McLaughlin. So I would expect a lot of offensive rebounds to come Averett's way, or at least that's what they're expecting here, as Ayala going to kick this one out to Caswell, who's been on a heater, and he gets a 3 to go. And right now, Caswell cannot be denied, as he's getting everything he wants to go so far. Now 2-point lead here for Bridgewater, 34-32. Sellers now to Lewis. Lewis gets it over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now over to Rowell on the right wing. Rowell takes a step, looking down, gets it down to Sellers. Sellers just keeping that ball high, gets the matchup he wants. And Caswell was sitting there waiting on him, wanted to bait Sellers in because he knew he was going to go into the post, and does bait the charge there for Sellers. I believe that's Sellers' first foul of the game.
I was listening closely because, you know, Sellers, the way he plays, he can get into foul trouble, and if you're the Cougars, you do not want 12 in foul trouble.
Talk about a guy who is ranked very highly in blocks in the ODAC. So there's a lot of times where he's playing aggressive on defense and does get those miscellaneous fouls. So as that was a high hand by Caswell to Sellers, that gets Coach David Twino off the bench trying to protect his players. Nothing called, but it does end up going to a travel call. Gotta think maybe it was a makeup call. Don't know, but that was definitely a high hand that was thrown, bringing the ball up the court.
Yeah, Coach Twino had a nice little talk with the referee as he was going back on the other side of the court.
So now Rowell on the left wing, looking for McLaughlin, cutting, decides to swing it over to Sellers. Now Lewis. Lewis on the right wing, looking down, gets it to McLaughlin. Jab step, spin. McLaughlin goes up, trying to finish with the right hand. It's off the mark. Pack tries to keep it in bounds, but steps out. Not a lot of room to work with under the basket, and that gives the ball right back to the Cougars with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Smith checking back into the game here, taking out Pack. And the Cougars, even though they're not getting the offensive rebound, find themselves getting another opportunity to put some points on the board. So now Carter underneath the basket on the baseline, gets it to Sellers. Now Lewis wrapping around. Jordan Lewis now with the ball at the top of the key. Taking his time here, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Waiting for the screen by McLaughlin. Coming off the left side, gets the pass to McLaughlin. And I believe it's going to be another charge call here. Sitting there waiting on it, as the pass ended up being a make from Rowell. So huge turnover there for the Cougars. That could have led the 3 points there for Rowell. So still a close game. The Eagles still on top, 34-32. Both teams have looked very solid in this first half. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. Now Ayala swings it over. This is Dunlap getting it down to Caswell. Caswell now in the post on Sellers. Looking for the pass, gets it out to Oates. Oates now. And I was about to say it was awfully close. Didn't know if it was going to get called or not, but it does get hit with the travel there, as he took too many jab steps there and slid a little bit in his pivot foot. So this will give the ball back to the Cougars. Still down 2 points, creeping up on 2 minutes left to go. As Lewis now with the ball, gets it over to Rowell, who's wrapping. He's coming around, gets it back to Lewis. High pass. Lewis keeps it in. So now Lewis looking, gets it over to Sellers. Sellers now driving through the post, and the nice touch by Sellers through contact to get it over Caswell to tie it up 34-34, and that's going to be a battle all game. It's going to be between Caswell and also Sellers, going back and forth, trading blows here in this one.
Sellers saw an opportunity of a one-on-one matchup and took it.
So now Ayala driving through to believe it's going to be a called foul on Carter. Trying to stay with Ayala, got hit. And now the Eagles will go to the line because the Eagles are in bonus right now. Cougars with 10 fouls here. So every foul will lead to some free throws. So you got to be smart here, especially with a minute and 30 left to go. Don't want to give away any free points, especially in a game like this one. His first free throw is good for Ayala to take now a 1 point lead.
Yeah, you mentioned the free throws. Bridgewater shooting over 80% in this first half. Very efficient. Don't want to put them at the line if you're the Cougars.
Second free throw, no good. So they take now a 1-point lead with just one made free throw. Now Lewis taking his time, calling the play here. Gets it over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now back to Lewis. Lewis looking for Sellers. Pass is going to be a little bit wide. A little confusion as a foot was kicked out. Wasn't sure if the foot made contact with the ball or not. They say no, so he's going to give the ball right back to the Eagles, who just took a 1-point lead after a foul that sent them to the free throw line.
You saw there the Eagles brought Dunlap in on that play to try to double team Jason Sellers, so probably going to see that often in the second half after the first half.
Sellers playing full court defense. You don't see that often, but I like the adjustment there, putting Sellers on Caswell as Caswell goes through and gets the bucket to go. And he's a very good player, and he's showing so far that he can go with the best of them. And it's just, I like this little matchup between Sellers and Caswell. That's pass here by Lewis is plucked away by Oates, but great hustle by McLaughlin to get down, not giving a foul, but going and contesting the layup and forcing a missed layup and getting the ball right back to the Cougars. Yeah,
Coach Duino loved that. That was a great defensive play by McLaughlin.
Rowell now driving in, tries to go back out, and this time poked away by Oates again. And now 14 seconds on the shot clock, 31 seconds on the game clock, so I got to imagine after this possession, shot clock will be out of a factor. It's now Lewis taking a deep three off the mark, finds Rowell. Rowell getting it back out to Lewis, and that's another offensive rebound for the Cougars. It's now Carter swings it to Sellers. Now to Rowell. Rowell coming off. Gets it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now driving through. Tries to finish with the right. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Caswell. Now 7 seconds on the clock.
Gotta go fast.
Got to move quick if you're the Eagles. Quick pull up here by Dunlap off the mark. And that's going to be it of the first half. A very electrifying first half, 37-34. The Eagles holding on to a 3-point lead. We'll be right back here with Averett Sports Network after the halftime break.
Fans, at this time, we'd like to recognize our 2022-23 Averett Track and Field senior class. These three individuals have contributed greatly to the inaugural season of Averett Track and Field and are building a foundation for years to come. Our first senior is Crispin Jackson. A native of Miami, Florida, Crispin competes in the men's 200-meter event. Majoring in sports communications, he plans to work in sports media after graduation. Let's make some noise for Crispin Jackson. Our next senior is Tyler Thomas. A native of Wilmington, North Carolina, Tyler competes in the long jump and 60-meter hurdles. Majoring in biochemistry with a minor in biology, Thomas is joined today by her mother, Taya, and after graduation, she plans to work in a chemical lab. Let's make some noise for Tyler Thomas. And our final senior is Abby Wallace, a native of Dry Fork, Virginia. Wallace has competed in the shot put and the weight throw this season for Averett Track and Field. She's also a past member of the Averett softball team. Double majoring in psychology with a minor in criminal justice, Wallace is joined tonight by her parents Michael and Amy Wallace. And after graduation, she plans to earn her master's degree in clinical counseling and eventually pursue a career in crisis work. Let's give it up for Abby Wallace. And once again, let's make some noise for this year's Averett Track and Field senior class.
Averett show.
Welcome back to Averett Sports Network. My name is Chris Richmond. Alongside me is Thomas Levy III, and we're bringing you the second half of action here in the Grant Center. The Eagles ahead 37-34 in a very nail-biting first half.
Start the second half with your
A
Cougars.
little bit of halftime stats from TH3.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, I can't help but look at this piece of paper and see that Caswell has 18 points in this game. We've called Jordan Lewis's name a lot. He's got 12, but Caswell with 18. That's the matchup, Jason Sellers and Caswell. And so far, Caswell has had the upper hand, but there is Jason Sellers, as I say it.
Wide open cut there for Jason Sellers. He gets it to go to bring it back within one, 37-36. It's now Oates. Wrap it around here, gets it out to Smith. Smith now looking to Caswell. Caswell, who has 18 points on the day, dished it off to Oates, and Oates gets it to go. And Oates also, who is having a pretty good day today, that would be 13 points for him, and it's kind of been the Oates and Caswell show.
Yep.
As they've just been putting on a clinic here. It's now Roel driving through, kicks it to Paulden. Paulden, mid-range shot, rims out. Sellers, with his effort on the offensive glass, gets it to go over a defender off the offensive glass to bring it back within one. Jason Sellers.
Yep.
Now Smith gets it over to Caswell. Caswell now back to Smith. Smith to Pack. Pack driving through, kicks it out. Caswell now for three. He's off the mark. Milton comes up with the rebound in transition. Roel for three. Rims out, and Roel, who is hot in the first half, misses his first shot of the second half. It's all right. That's, I believe, his first missed three of the day. So now Oates gets it over to Topper. Topper back out to Caswell, pumps, looking to go to Pack. Pack now with the ball, driving through, wide open lane, and gets the layup to go. Taking back a three-point lead. Now Lewis bringing up the ball here for the Cougars, down on the right side. Lewis now over to Roel. Roel back to Lewis. Cougars taking their time here. Lewis over to Milton. Milton
Sellers fighting for that positioning down there.
gets it to Sellers, and this time not in position, looking for the charge, and Sellers draws the blocking foul here.
Yeah, it's interesting, Chris. You're just watching 12 down there trying to fight for position, trying to get the ball. He's obviously, you know, the emphasis of this offense right now, and the Cougars are trying to get it into him.
As Caswell gets hit with his first foul of the game there with that blocking foul. Now Sellers gets it to Lewis. Lewis now driving through, going around the defender. Can't get the layup to go. Rebounded by Topper. So now Topper bringing the ball up here for the Eagles. Work defended closely by Paulden. Spin move and gets the jumper to go. And I know it's crazy to say, but I believe this is the first, like, the biggest lead of the game here is 5 points.
Yep, you would be correct.
As now Lewis with the ball at the top of the key, swings it over Roel. Thought about the three, drives through contact, gets it to go with the left hand. Jalen Roel now has double digits here on his senior day.
Yep, Roel now with 10 points, like you mentioned, Chris, and he is still red hot from that first half.
So now Caswell swings over to Smith. Deep three-pointer for Smith is good. Let's take now a 6-point lead. There's not much you could do about that one. He was almost touching the logo with that one.
Yep, and as you mentioned, Chris, now this is the largest lead of the night for Bridgewater.
It's now Milton looking to go to Sellers. Goes over to Paulden. Now Roel driving through. Floater for Roel is no good, but another offensive rebound by Lewis. Roel now driving through. Tries to finish with the left off the mark. Oates goes up with it and fighting for the rebound, and Milton comes up with the offensive board.
Wow.
For the Cougars. And Roel wide open in the corner is off the mark. Lewis again tips it back to Milton. And Sellers ends up with it through contact, can't get it to go. And finally Smith ends up with the ball, and that effort there, so sad that it didn't lead to any points, but
man, wow, you got to give the Cougars credit, but obviously Bridgewater just continuing to be relentless and ending up with the ball and then scoring after multiple offensive rebounds by the Cougars.
So now Roel looking to go to Sellers, elects to go to Paulden. Paulden mid-range shot off the mark, and now Oates with the rebound of his own, gets it down to Caswell. Caswell close to the sideline here. I believe they're going to call Paulton with a foul here, and they will, as he closed out on Caswell close off to that sideline. So this will lead to the first timeout of the half. The Eagles jump out ahead by 8 points. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the break.
University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. The Eagles jump out 8 points. We're going into the huddle here for the timeout. You see senior Miles Paulton just talking to his team. You know, on senior day, just talking to him. He's like, guys, come on, let's go. And everybody rooting behind him. And also, head coach David Duino comes over. He's like, I like the energy. I like the effort. You know, and you got to commend those guys, that offensive possession, even though it didn't lead the points, but just the effort those guys showed to keep that ball alive and giving themselves opportunities. Yeah, both teams really. I mean, Bridgewater obviously came out on top with that crazy possession, but give the Cougars credit also. I mean, they battled and got multiple offensive rebounds. So now Pack points out his spot, gets to it, and takes the jumper to now extend it out to a double-digit lead. And the Cougars got to reel this one back in here. Now Milton over to Paulton. Paulton to Roel. Roel wrapping around, gets it to Sellers. Sellers now to Lewis, and he's going to be fouled there by Topper. Yeah, dangerous territory here for the Cougars. I mean, down 10 now, being outscored 13-6 in the second half, so they're in desperate need of a bucket, Chris. That's now back into the game. It's McLaughlin along with Hodges. That's Lewis now in the corner here. Coming around, gets it over to Sellers. Sellers now over to Roel. Roel to McLaughlin. McLaughlin driving in on the left side. Goes up, finishes with the right through contact. Is Bryson McLaughlin getting the score to go. Bring it within single digits. Yep, when the Cougars need a bucket, they go to their hometown senior from Danville, Virginia. That's a big shot to make it 8. Now Caswell thought about the three, didn't take it. Now Smith driving through. Defended closely by Lewis, and that's a tough layup. That's a tough layup by Smith to get it over Lewis. It's now McLaughlin over to Roel. Roel now on the left wing. Gets it over to Sellers. Sellers now to Hodges. Hodges trying to go down to Sellers, can't get it to go. They got the matchup down there. It's now Sellers to Roel. Roel driving baseline, going up and finishing with the left. Getting crafty is Roel, saying he could do a whole lot more than shooting threes. As we're going to another timeout here. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after this short break. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network as the Cougars pulled it back in within 8-point single digits here. The Eagles have been hot here at the beginning of the second half as Bryce Shaw back into the game, picked up 2 fouls early on. He's back in with 13 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the second half. 3-point shot here for Pack. Off the mark, rebounded by Hodges. Now the Cougars pushing the other way. Hodges all by himself on the right side. Now McLaughlin over there with him. McLaughlin now swinging it over to Sellers. Sellers now to Shaw. Shaw coming around. Gets it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin spin move, driving through. Can't get the right hand to go, but draws the foul, so he will go to the line to shoot 2, and that was going to I was ready to get hyped for that one because that was going to be a tough bucket by McLaughlin if he could get that one to go.
Yeah, the athleticism there to spin out of that and get right to the rim. Couldn't get the N1, but he will get 2 free throws.
So he will go to the line to shoot 2, trying to cut down this lead a little bit. His first free throw is off the mark to the right. Second free throw here is knocked down for McLaughlin, so he gets at least 1 point from the effort. Bring it back within 7.
Cougars need a big stop right here, Chris.
And you see the Cougars going into this press, putting the foot on the pedal here defensively. Now Shaw. Shaw playing defense on Smith. Now Bryce Shaw picks up his 3rd of the game, playing close defense on Smith.
I'll be curious to see here, Chris, what they do with Shaw. I mean, he's got 13 minutes to go. Duino's got a deep bench, but he's going to stay in the game right here.
And now it's going to be an offensive foul all day long. That's going to be called, like I said, 9 out of 10 times as the elbow got into that chest and neck area. Anytime a ref sees that and sees the head go back, he's going to call it. So that's an offensive foul to go right back at Smith after drawing a foul on the last possession. So the Cougars get the ball back after great defense and with another chance to cut a little bit more into this lead. Plenty of time left. Every point matters. Now Rowell over to Sellers. Sellers now to Shaw. Shaw at the top of the key. Gets it to Hodges. Hodges picks out his spot. Takes the mid-range off the mark. Rebounded by Oates. But great effort by Hodges trying to poke it free. But it will go out of bounds to give the ball to the Eagles.
Out of bounds, Eagles ball.
So now Ayala getting over the Pack. The Eagles taking their time, getting the ball up the court. Just under 13 minutes left in the half. It's now Caswell at the top of the key. Gets it to Pack. Pack sets his feet, takes a 3 off the mark, rebounded by Shaw. And now the Cougars pushing the other way. Shaw now looking on the right side, gets it to Rowell. Over to Hodges. Hodges sets his feet. Thought about the 3, didn't take it. Now Sellers has the ball. Sellers now driving through, working through contact, can't get it to go. McLaughlin tries to fight through, get the rebound. Is going to be poked out, called out on McLaughlin, give the ball back to the Eagles.
Great defense there by Caswell against Sellers in a one-on-one matchup. Sellers was licking his chops, but Caswell, great defense, gets the stop. Bridgewater has the ball.
That was a great job by Caswell to hold up as Sellers seen that open lane and took it. But now Ayala bringing up the ball here, calling the plays here for Bridgewater. Defended closely by Hodges. Out on the right side, swinging back around the left. Now Oates getting it over to Caswell. Caswell now at the top of the key. Looked at Pack, decided not to pass it to him. Now Hawes. Hawes now driving through. Defended close by Shaw. And they're going to hit Shaw with another foul. I don't know how much was that contact or he just lost his footing there, but nonetheless, that's now Shaw's 4th personal, and you got to get him out the game now. He's got a foul to give, 11 minutes and 50 seconds. There's plenty of time left in this one. You might need him later down the road. So now Rowell, the offensive threat, comes back in. A good defense by Sellers, getting the block and getting the stop after the foul. That's Sellers. We mentioned him, averages just over 1 block a game. Is one of the leaders in the ODAC in shots blocked per game. And he comes up big there after a foul on the Cougars, getting the stop. Now Hodges over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin now to Roel. Roel thought about the mid-range, didn't take it. Now Sellers back to Hodges. 15 seconds left on the shot clock here. Now Lewis coming around. Resetting here for the Cougars, deep on the logo here. Now 8 seconds. He's driving through, picks his spot, takes the mid-range in. It's good. Jordan Lewis gets the mid-range to go to bring it now back within 5. And the Cougars with a little bit of momentum here, clawing away. It hasn't been pretty, but they're inching back in. Was down by 10, now by 5. Now Ayala getting it to Caswell. Caswell bounce pass to Oates, and I got to say that's a good foul by Lewis there, not giving up any wide open points. Make him go to the free throw line and earn it. That was a great pass, though, by Caswell, getting it down to Oates, cutting back door.
Oates at the line for Bridgewater.
Oates a 76% free throw shooter at the line, and like you said, Chris, that's a good foul because it looked like he was ready to flush that into the bucket.
That was about as easy of a bucket that's going to come, and you gotta make him earn it, especially in this moment right here. So good foul. Instead of 2 points, it's possibly going to be 1 point. That's now Caswell, Hawes, and also Pack is coming out of the game, coming back into the game. It's going to be Topper and also Dunlap.
And no matter what the result of this free throw, Averett will have a chance to make this a one-score game.
So now, after a smart foul by Jordan Lewis, he trades 2 points for 1. And now the Eagles up 6 points. Now Hodges out on the left wing, gets to Lewis. Lewis coming off the screen here, driving in, sees a lane, kicks it out to Roel. Roel, corner 3 off the mark, and rebounded by Oates. It's now Oates coming up court, defended closely by McLaughlin. Now driving through, good defense by McLaughlin. Topper coming around, defended closely by Sellers. Great defense by the Cougars now. 12 seconds left on the shot clock, and he gets hit with the travel call there. That's another stop for the Cougars after great defense in the upper half of the shot clock there. Forcing the passes, nothing easy, and it leads straight to a travel call.
You said it perfectly, Chris. Man, that was great defense by the big men up at the top of the key. Bryce McLaughlin and also Jason Sellers getting it done.
As the Cougars now in man, you don't see McLaughlin and Sellers playing too much perimeter defense, but they are right now, and they're playing very good perimeter defense. As now McLaughlin getting it over to Lewis. Lewis now step back mid-range. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Smith. Now the Eagles pushing the other way. It's now Smith driving through. Draws the foul there on Hodges. Awfully close. But Smith has been aggressive all night, driving through and collecting those fouls.
He has. He's been fearless down there. He doesn't really care who's down there. He's going to put up the shot and hope to go to the free throw line. And he has done that pretty much all game.
So now he's going to go to the line to shoot a couple here. First free throw is good for Smith. Extended out now to 7 points. First one rolls in, and that's going to lead to a timeout there by Bridgewater after taking an 8-point lead. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the short break.
Inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon. With affordable tuition and 24/7 support, it all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
And we are back with Averett Sports Network here. 9 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in this one. It's now the Averett Cougars with the ball here after falling down to an 8-point deficit. Now Sellers with the ball here in the post, gets it back out to Hodges. Hodges now to Jordan Lewis in the corner. Lewis off the mark, rebounded though by Sellers.
Wow.
Sellers goes right back up with it through contact, can't get it to go, but McLaughlin on the other side gets it to go.
That's what we talk about, Chris, with this lineup.
And quick transition bucket by Oates. And that's just been this game, back and forth,
exactly.
Back and forth.
We talk about it. Coach Duino feels very confident running both of those big men in this situation, and you see why right there.
So now Hodges driving through, kicks it across to Lewis, now to Roel. Roel now back to Lewis, gets it to McLaughlin, going baseline, gets it to Hodges. Hodges pump fakes, gets it to Sellers. Great passing by the Cougars, but the missed layup gives the ball right back to the Eagles. It's now Ayala with the ball on the right side of the court. Coming across, defended closely by Roel, kicks it to the corner. Now to Smith at the top of the key. Back to Topper. Topper now at the top of the key. Defended closely by Sellers. Goes back to Smith. Smith now spinning around. Defended closely. Goes up off the mark and rebounded by Sellers. Lewis going to get the ball, slow it down here for the Cougars, going back across the court to the right side to Hodges. 20 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time to run a play here. Lewis missed Sellers.
Sellers asking for the ball.
As now McLaughlin cuts in, can't get it to go. Sellers trying to get a hand on it, but can't reel it in, and it goes right back to the Eagles.
With 2 more extra offensive rebounds, Chris, we're looking at a 13-1 offensive rebound margin for Averett, which is just astonishing.
And this is an interesting play here as Hodges and Roel comes out. Shaw's back in the game with 5 fouls. Coach David Duino is willing to take the risk there, having Shaw back into the game.
Getting towards crunch time here, Chris, just under 8 minutes here in a second.
Now Milton back in the game as well, defending Smith closely, driving through. He gets stripped up. Ayala now, corner 3 is good.
That's a big three.
That's a big-time 3 to bring it out to a double-digit lead. Still plenty of time, though, as Lewis wrapping around, trying to get it to Sellers, but finds Milton. Milton sets his feet off the mark and rebounded by Oates. And you got to commend Oates on the game that he's been playing.
Yeah.
Going there and going toe-to-toe with Sellers and McLaughlin. As that one's off the mark, rebounded, tough rebound there by Sellers. Reeling that one in. As now Milton slowing it down, setting his feet, getting it back to Shaw. Shaw to set the play, call the play here at the top of the key. He takes a mid-range shot, gets it to go with the foul and a chance at a 3-point play.
What a shot by Bryce Shaw.
Not a guy that's going to tear you up behind the arc, but he's going to get his 3-point plays inside the arc, and he shows you right there, getting the tough mid-range to go and with a chance to hit the free throw to make it 3. Now Caswell back in the game here for the Eagles, taking out Oates, and also Pack as well back into the game for the Eagles.
One of the key skills by Bryce Shaw as he makes that free throw is his handles, Chris. I mean, he just moves that ball so fast, breaking people's ankles. Works for the shot. Very
explosive player, and he gets the 3-point play there to bring it back within 8. So a corner 3 by the Eagles, answered by a mid-range and 1, and the Cougars right after that get the 5-second call on the great inbound defense, get the ball right back with 7 minutes and 8 seconds left to go. Lawrence now in the game here for the Cougars. He gets it out to Lewis, now to Milton, over to Shaw. Shaw now bringing it over to Sellers at the top of the key. Now Lewis. Lewis on the right wing. Driving baseline. Stops. Uses the glass and gets it to go, but it's called an offensive foul. And you got to hate the dramatic pause there from the ref. Knew what he was doing there. As he let everybody get excited and got Jordan Lewis for the charge call, and I believe that's Jordan Lewis's 3rd foul. So we'll be right back after this timeout with Averett Sports Network with the remaining minutes of this one.
University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
So we are back here with Averett Sports Network. 6 minutes and 52 seconds left to go, and this thriller has been back and forth. Eagles still holding on to an 8-point lead, but the Cougars still fighting, not going anywhere quick on senior day. It's now Smith with the ball here, bringing up the ball. The Cougars still in this press. A lot of communication going on to the defense of the Cougars. Head coach David Duino was talking about stops during that timeout. The Cougars making that a point of emphasis, as that one, it was a miscue. Lewis gets a hand on the ball, and the Cougars find themselves getting a stop right after that timeout.
Yep. What a hustle play by Lewis there.
Great job by Lewis getting a hand on that ball, getting it to Hodges. Now the Cougars with a chance here, as Lawrence takes a three of his own off the top of the. He thought about taking another one. Great effort by Milton to keep that one alive, but great effort by Lawrence getting through and getting to go to bring it back within 6. And I was just talking to my co-host here, TH3, right at the during the timeout when we were on break, about how most of the times in this game when something didn't go the Cougars' way, that they got it right back, and they just did after that stop there. And that's going to be an offensive foul every day of the week.
Yep.
Arm was extended out, and the ref was right there to see it. That's going to be right back to the Cougars. And that's another stop here for Averett.
Yeah, I know I keep mentioning it, Chris, but, I mean, it can't be stressed enough. Bridgewater is in trouble if they cannot contain these offensive rebounds. Averett is now up 14-1 on the offensive boards. Bridgewater's getting stops, but they can't get the rebound.
Now Shaw bringing the ball up here for the Cougars. Gets it to Sellers, was low, but Sellers able to keep it in arm's length. Now Lewis driving through, stops, floaters off the mark, and Caswell able to reel this one in this time. Now the Eagles pushing the other way. Smith wasting no time, using his speed. Ayala taking the three of his own, off the mark, reeled in by Lewis, and Lewis has been effective off the glass here tonight. Now Milton on the left, cutting through, gets it to Shaw. Lawrence now pumping, going through, stops. Can't get the floater to go, and that's rebounded by Oates. Oates back in the game is a key factor here for the Eagles.
Yeah, you mentioned Lewis right a second ago, Chris. He's up to 6 rebounds now.
Playing that point guard position and having the 2 rebounders, Sellers and McLaughlin, to compete with is a good game for Lewis. It's now Caswell defended closely by Lawrence. Lawrence now, he got hit in the face, it looks like. Shot was off the mark. Appears to be okay, though. It's now Milton getting to Lawrence, now to Lewis. Sellers at the top of the key to Shaw. Shaw on the right wing. Getting it down to
coverage.
Sellers. Sellers looking for that matchup here. Getting it to wide open Milton. Milton going up with it off the mark and rebounded by Caswell. It looked like Milton was almost not ready for that one.
Yeah, it was good defense, though, by the Eagles.
As they completely forgot about Milton under the glass there. As a deep three for Smith. Don't want to give up too many of those. That one, the Cougars dodged a bullet there. That one off the mark. Shaw bringing up the ball up the court. Kicks it out to Lawrence. Lawrence, corner three. Can't get it to go, but draws the foul on Oates. That is big time.
Yeah, that's big.
Big time foul drawn by Lawrence to go to the line to shoot 3 with a chance to bring this one within 3.
Yep, Chris, and you said that's big, and another reason why that's so big is because Lawrence is shooting 85% from the line this year. So out of everybody on the floor right now, Bridgewater does not want to see him up shooting these free throws.
As the first one's good, Lawrence is one of those guys, one of those true 3-and-D guys. He's going to shoot the three-pointer, and he's going to play very good defense. And you can't be surprised when you're going to jump out and try to clear a shot like that, because I know they know coming in with the game plan that he's going to shoot the ball, and he shoots it at a very high clip. So you got to close out on him, and he's able to draw the foul. And so far, 2 free throws and able to get the third one.
Yeah,
all 3 nowhere close to hitting the rim.
He's a terrific a free throw shooter.
And you see his energy. He's been a spark plug for the Cougars all year. And you see him yelling on the court, hype, trying to get the guys going. And they're back within 3. Was down as much as 11 in this one. And now 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this game. Cougars back within 3. Smith now defended closely by Shaw. Shaw's just got to be smart. He doesn't have any more fouls to give. As now Topper driving, kicks it back out to Smith. Smith now driving. And a tough layup by Smith goes.
What a shot by Smith. He's been doing that all night.
Tough bucket there to take it back, a 5-point lead. It's going to be a full timeout called by the Eagles. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network with the remainder of this thriller. And we are back with Averett Sports Network here. The Cougars, since being down by 11, was on an 8-0 run.
Nope.
Since being down by double digits, now 8-2, as the Eagles were able to put a little bit of halt in momentum there. It's now Rowell back in the game here for the Cougars. Rowell, who was hot early on, got to get him going again in this one. Now Rowell back to Lewis. Lewis back to Rowell. Rowell takes a 3. Looks like it was partially blocked there on the outside by Oates, as Smith comes up with the rebound. So now the Eagles with an excellent opportunity to capitalize here.
Yeah, the Cougars desperately need a stop here, now down by 5.
And Shaw gets hit again. I knew as soon as Smith called out off all the screens that he was going to try to drive in on Shaw and get him to get his 5th there, and he did. So he's going to go to the line to shoot 2. And now Shaw fouls out.
Yeah, Smith really came into this game with a game plan that was like, I'm going to drive into the paint and get to the free throw line. He's done it successfully, and he just fouled out Bryce Shaw.
So now McLaughlin back into the game here for the Cougars. First free throws off the mark. Smith, who's seen the free throw line quite a bit in this one.
That's a big miss, Chris, because now even if he makes this, Averett can still make it a 1-score game with a bucket.
Second one is off the mark. So, like you said, any made shot here makes it a 1-point game, which is huge with time ticking down. Lewis gets it down to Sellers. Bounce pass, but it's blocked. And that, I believe, is going to be out on Pack. After the great defense by the Eagles, the Cougars dodge a bullet there and able to get the ball back, still with a chance to score here.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Sellers, but you give the Eagles a lot of credit for collapsing into the paint and getting down there and getting that shot out.
Good setup by Sellers on the bounce pass to McLaughlin. That was just better defense by the Eagles, getting up and getting the hand on the ball.
Yep.
And we talked about this pregame coming into this one. This is an Eagles team with a lot of height, so no surprise. You know, they're using their length and able to get a hand on the ball.
Exactly.
Now Rowell out on the corner, swinging around over to Sellers. Sellers now to Lewis. Lewis over to Lawrence. Lawrence pumps, goes baseline, kicks it out to Rowell. Rowell sets his feet, takes the three, and gets it to go! Jalen Rowell makes it a one-score game to bring it back to 62-60. And this forces a timeout. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the break. We are back here with Averett Sports Network just before the break. Jalen Rowell hit an absolute dagger to bring it back within two. The Cougars dodged two missed free throws there by Smith before the possession, down 5. Get the ball back and then gets blocked, but the ball rolls out on the Eagles. So they get a second opportunity and capitalize, and Jalen Rowell hits a wide open 3. So we're back here in this situation here. Smith driving through. Kicks it out to Topper. Topper now over to Pack. Pack thought about the 3, dribbles in, and that's a great charge by Jim Lawrence, and you see him getting fired up.
Wow.
And that is, we mentioned it before, how much pride he takes in setting his feet and taking those charges, and that was a perfectly take.
And you heard the Grant Center get really fired up on that.
Huge, big-time play there by Lawrence. And Rowell wide open on a nice move. Gets it at the top of the key to take back a 1-point lead, 63-62 after being down 11.
Have a senior night. Jalen Rowell, wow.
The Cougars outscoring Bridgewater 14-2 since being down by 11, and they get another stop. Get it to go. Rowell sets his feet, hits another Jalen to take a 4-point lead, and it forces a timeout on senior day. A senior steps up big to take a 4-point lead, and we'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the timeout. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. Big time plays by Jalen Roel, the senior. And I have to correct myself. They called that last point a 2-pointer, not a 3-pointer. So the Cougars are up 3, not 4. But nonetheless, great effort there by Jalen Roel.
Yep.
Hitting down and knocking shots when needed. And great defense by the Cougars. Open it up. Now Caswell driving through on McLaughlin. Draws the foul but misses it. So he will go to the line to shoot 2.
Caswell, a 75% free throw shooter at the line here with 2 massive, massive free throws. Well, now leading the Cougars with 20 points as well, Chris.
First free throw is good to make it a 2-point game. Second free throw here is also good.
Caswell now up to 20 points now, Chris.
So those are his first 2 points all second half.
Yep.
Came into the half, 18 points, and the Cougars did a great job of canceling it out.
Yeah.
Head coach David Duino is going to take the timeout, slow things down, draw up a play, and try to get a score here, because a score here is really big if you're the Cougars. 2 points gets you a 3-point game.
Yeah.
A 3-pointer makes it a 2-score game.
And
we'll stay right here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see now, Chris, what the Cougars do. 32 seconds, 22 on the shot clock. Do they play conservative or do they play aggressive? Do they try to just put the ball into the bucket, or do they try to just calm down, waste some time? I would assume they try to get this ball into the bucket really fast, maybe work down low.
Because this is one thing that is different coming into this game, or excuse me, this half.
Yeah.
Because the Cougars played down the whole half.
Exactly.
Was down by 11 at one point. They played coming back. So now the Cougars, who have already been playing off of stops and executing on the opposite end, could translate through, but at the same time, you're not trying to hold the ball, you're going quick. So that is a different game changer here as well in this one. Now you're playing with the lead.
Exactly.
You got to shift your mindset a little bit. You don't have to play as aggressive. You can take smarter shots. So
I would take a guess, Chris, that Coach Duino is right now drawing up a play that it somewhere involves Jason Sellers touching the ball, because when he touches the ball, they bring the double. We've seen him pass it down low into McLaughlin. Look for a play like that maybe. Just get the ball into Sellers and see what Bridgewater does if they double team.
And the Cougars not in dire need of a 3-pointer. They just need points.
Yep.
A 3-pointer would be lovely for the Cougars.
I would look to see Sellers touch the ball here.
So now Lewis gets it to Roel. Roel pumps, gets a man in the air, gets it to Lawrence. Lawrence now driving baseline. Gets it to Sellers. Poked away. Great defense there by Smith. Oates almost turned the ball over there, not ready for the ball. Gets to the pack. Pack wide open. Takes the 3, is off. Rebounded by Lawrence, and Lawrence is fouled. And if you're the Cougars, if you want somebody on the line, right now it's Jim Lawrence. Up 1 point.
Yep, we mentioned it before. He's an 85% free throw shooter. Knocked down all 3 of his free throws earlier in the game. He's the guy you want at the line right now, and a big sigh of relief here in the Grant Center for the Averett Cougar fans.
And that was a big miss by Pack.
Yep.
Wide open, down 1.
Now let's see, Chris. Even if he hits both of these free throws, Bridgewater will have a shot. Do the Cougars foul on the way back to avoid the 3-point play?
It's definitely interesting to keep in mind. This first one's off the mark. Jason Sellers gets up. Doesn't get the rebound. Now the Eagles in transition. Floater. And charge pulled by Jim Lawrence at the floater.
Putting his body on the line when it matters most. What a play.
Big time play by Jim Lawrence on the defensive end. And this is why coaches say charges matter.
Yep.
Because that is a huge play by the Cougars. That's just as good as a steal in that situation. And now, instead of a rebound or a steal, having to push it up the court, now Jim Lawrence gets a chance to go on the other side and extend this lead out by a couple points.
And we've talked about it all game long, Chris. Smith has just been trying to get that ball inside of the basket. Lawrence was ready for it. He was waiting, and now the Cougars have the basketball.
What a game it has been.
Yeah.
This one. I could feel everybody just hold their breath when Smith went out with the floater. The floater missed anyway, but the charge call on top of that.
Yeah. And a huge shout out to Lawrence too. Obviously, he doesn't miss many free throws, right, Chris? And he misses that first free throw. He doesn't put his head down. He gets right back on defense, draws the foul.
He hustles and draws the foul. Perfect point. Jim Lawrence, who has been playing some hard-nosed basketball all game, taking shots to the face, trying to play defense, hitting the hardwood on charges. Or excuse me, he doesn't go to the line here. It was a charge call, so I believe that he will keep they will have to inbound the ball here. So I was wrong on that one.
Yep, but that's something all young players can look at right there. He misses the free throw and gets right back on defense and makes the play of the game for the Cougars.
So now in similar fashion to the EMU game,
they have Jason Sellers all the way back.
Comes down to an inbound here. Just got to get the ball in.
Let's see what they call here, Chris.
As the Eagles were looking for an offensive foul there, they were tangled up. It could have gone either way. You got to think, though, on an inbound there, you're moving around. The refs are going to see the hold before they see the offensive play because you're trying to keep the ball from getting into people's hands.
Yep.
So the ref is going to see the hold before the offensive foul, and that's just what the refs seen first. It could have gone either way. So now Lewis will be at the line to shoot right here. The refs have called a very good game up to this point. I believe it's been very even fouls. First one is good for Lewis. As the Cougars were in foul trouble in the first half, you got 10 to 8 a foul call, foul count here in the second. So very even throughout.
He misses, and they're going to call the timeout. I was wondering about that, Chris. I don't know if that was an intentional miss or if he just missed it, but regardless, Bridgewater will have the last shot right here.
So
I think Bridgewater wants to advance this ball past half court, but they're going to say the inbound is way back full court.
So now 0.9 seconds on the clock. The Eagles have to look for a miracle here. Down 2. 2 ties it, 3 wins it.
They're going to put 1 second on the clock now, Chris.
This one here is a thriller up to the last minute. And what do you expect? What else do you expect on senior day here in the Grant Center?
1.1 now up on the clock, Chris. And I think we talked about it during one of these breaks. We said it was going to come down to the last shot, and here we are right now.
You know, a blowout win is not entertaining for anybody.
No,
How about a game that's going to go to the final second?
Yeah, and the Cougars have crawled all the way back from a 10-plus point deficit for this moment right here.
So I imagine the Eagles are going to try to get this one deep. The clock won't start until it hits the hands of a player. Now 1.1 on the clock. We'll be right back with a short, brief second after this full timeout with Averett Sports Network. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network here. 66 to 64, 1.1 second on the clock here. Senior day in the Grant Center. Comes down to an inbound pass here for the Eagles.
Here we go, Chris.
Pack set to throw in the inbound. Has to throw it over Jason Sellers. That one's deep. Goes into the hands, and that's it. In the Grant Center, the Cougars climb back from 11-point deficit to end up the game, outscoring the Eagles 17 to 4, down 11, and they pick up the win here in the Grant Center.
Wow, I mean, the Cougars crawl all the way back from an 11-point deficit in the second half. And Lawrence, like I said earlier, he misses the free throw, gets right back on defense, makes the play of the game, drawing the charge, getting the ball back. Cougars pull out the win. Absolutely incredible crowd. What a game, Chris.
I know Jim Lawrence didn't light up the stat sheet, but you got to think the three-pointer he pulled, drawed the free throws, and nailed all three of them in the comeback. Two very big charges in this one. I gotta tip my hat to Jim Lawrence coming in and doing a great job. And you also got to talk about Jalen Rowell. Rowell hitting the big shots when needed. The senior today.
Led the Cougars in scoring with 20 points.
Came in off rip, 8 points. Got hurt. Didn't play most of the first half. Came back late. Had a slow start at the beginning of the second half and comes in and hits 3 straight shots for the Cougars. I mean, come on now. What else would you expect here on senior day? And also the defense there, able to hold Caswell to 2 points the whole second half after scoring 18 in the first half.
And no field goals either, just 2 free throws
as well. Just 2 free throws, no field goals, and it's been a thriller. This has been one here in the Grant Center on senior day. The Cougars come out on top, 66 to 64 over the Eagles. This has been Averett Sports Network. My name is Chris Richmond, and alongside me is TH3. And always remember to roll Cougs.